Okay, so we are back with more Higurashi When They Cry. So, if things look a little different, there's a reason. I actually found a mod for this game so that it not only updates the looks, but it also adds voice to the characters. So, this will actually run a lot smoother and look and feel a lot better. I feel like this was necessary because the original version is so old. It just feels so bare bones that it almost comes off as fan made, honestly. So this one actually updates a lot of the aspects of this story, and I can't wait to see how this plays out. I've actually I've gone through it and actually seen some of the images and heard some of the voices and everything, only because I had to skip through it to get to where I was from the previous game, because the version or at least the one I had, I got on GOG, which is a gaming platform or gaming site. And that's where you can get games, a lot of older games at a discount, and even newer games. But I found this on Steam and was like, oh, okay. So it's also on Steam, and there's also a mod for it to make it look better. So it's like, I'll definitely, why not? Where's the harm in it? So here we are. So with that being said, we're going to jump right into it and hopefully continue on with the story. And if not, I'll find where we were. So this is where we were at the end of chapter 1. Load. Yes. Continue. Okay, so this is where we were at. I took it a little too easy on the morning of my day off. I was totally late. And to top it off, that pesky mom of mine pushed the return journey errand on me just as I'm trying to leave the house. Today was the day Rina and Mayan were going to show me around Hinamazawa. Rina and Mayan were already waiting at the meeting place.
ケイちゃん遅いぞ。
悪い悪い。責めるのは夕べの面白かった特番に行ってくれ。
I wish it was in English, but I think it feels a lot better being in Japanese, personally me, and I think it kind of comes off as watching just an anime. So hopefully you guys like this version. It really saves a lot on my voice as well, having to do a lot of dialogue, especially for an hour. I feel like this is so much better. So if you don't like this, I'm sorry. I guess just watch something else for right now, or wait until I get to another game. So.
ほう、女の子との待ち合わせに遅刻して言い訳がそれってわけ？
みーちゃんだって今来たばかりなんだよ。
ゆうべの密着24時間面白かったし、ねえ。
She was just as guilty as me. Rina was carrying a pretty heavy-looking handbag. What is that? Mayan answered my unspoken question with a wink. That's right, Rina really did make a picnic.
ケイちゃん、あの後レナ、大張り切りだったらしいよ。
別に俺がけしかけたわけじゃないだろ
そんな大変じゃなかったから気にしないでよ。ね。
ゆうべから今朝まであのテンションらしいよ。
I'm so anticipating when the crazy shit's gonna go down, because this is a horror anime, so I can only imagine it's just gonna be so crazy when it all just goes to shit.
責任取れんの？
わかった。俺も男だ。責任は取る。
責任ってなんだろう。
Oh shit, I meant to read that last one, my bad. It didn't seem logically feasible that it would be entirely filled with lunchboxes. Except this was Reina we were talking about here.
2キロくらいかな。
So, also, I've been watching this anime called Another, and it's a horror anime, and it kind of carries the same vibes as this. It starts off very innocent in a way, but there's a lot of things that you question about it. And so I'm waiting for that for this to get to that point, because right now it seems everything's fine and dandy, but I'm waiting for the scary stuff.
レナね、荷物持つとき、よっこらしょって言ってた。5キロ。
それはオーバー。ケイチくん男の子だから、きっといっぱい食べるだろうと思って、たくさんね。もう行こう。よっこら、よっこ。
Just from the way she was lifting it up, I couldn't believe the only things in there were lunchboxes.
訂正。俺も5キロ。
手伝いはするけど、全部食べるんだからね。レナを悲しませたら許さないよ。
The only thing I could do at that moment was exercise a bit to make myself hungrier. That makes sense. Ooh, it's a bright light. Having finished with the pleasantries, we began our leisurely stroll. A carefree walk bathed in the gentle morning sunlight. I couldn't have even imagined something so wholesome existed during my time in the city. These were the boonies after all. No slovenly desk jockeys trudging to work on the weekends out here. It really was a nice place, peaceful and quiet. As sparsely populated as the village was, you could still run into people just by walking around.
あ、こんにちは。
こんにちは。あら、そちらは。確か、前原くんだったかしら。
My two companions exchanged greetings with everybody we ran across. All of these passerby even knew my name.
なんで俺ってこんなに有名人なんだ？
We passed 3 people in. When all 3 of them knew me, I started to feel a bit paranoid.
悲しいかな。ひなみ沢は人が少ないからね。みんな顔見知りなんだよね。
つまりなんだ？知らない顔が歩いてれば、それは自動的に新しく引っ越してきた前原さんってことになるわけか。
うん、そういうことになるね。
It was a process of elimination you could only pull off in a place like this, but it was quite effective. From now on, I better make sure to maintain a good reputation. That makes sense, but I don't think that's going to happen. The day I'm discovered accidentally gawking at a dirty magazine in the bookstore, I can expect all the villagers labeling me as a lech by the next day. Hinamizawa is not to be trifled with. That's not the end of this nightmare.
もちろんわかるよ。最初に会ったのが牧野林店の竹蔵おじさん。趣味は盆栽と尺八なんだよ。
次が乾物屋の次男の大輔くん。趣味は狙撃で、将来の夢は超永久スナイパーだとか。
Hell yeah, an ace sniper? That's badass.
それで今の人は入江診療所の看護師の美代さん。趣味は野鳥の観察と撮影だって。
I love how they're telling us everybody's hobbies.
すれ違った全員の名前までわかるのかよ。プロフィールまで。
Seeing my surprise, Mayan and Rena exchanged looks and burst into laughter.
まあね。ここいらは都会みたいにご近所付き合いが希薄じゃないからね。
試しに聞いてみよう。今ここにいる俺は誰だ？
前原圭一く
Wow.
ん。意地悪なこと言うけど、本当は優しいテレ屋さん。
転校してきてようやく3週間。趣味は昼寝。最近トランクス派に転校。
Whoa.
したよね。
もういいもういい。
How did she know that? That's so weird.
トランクス。
Oh no.
それもいい。
Apparently there's absolutely nothing you can keep hidden here. Oh no. Hinamizawa was not a place to be trifled with. Of course.
これじゃあさ、俺のための案内ってより、俺のお披露目みたいだな。
そうだね。うちらさ、これだけ賑やかに練り歩いてたからね。みんな思うんじゃない？ケイちゃんもひなみ沢に馴染んでくれたんだって。
ひなみ沢は過疎だから、村中みんなが新しい仲間を歓迎してくれてるの。
I thought about brushing it off with something to the effect of, "You're kidding me," but I held back. Had I ever greeted someone who'd just moved into the city like this before? Thinking about that made me believe what they said wasn't a joke at all. We passed another person. Of course, we were called out to again the same way.
あら、こんにちは。仲良しそうでいいわね。
藤島さんちのおばさんだよ。こんにちは。
あら、前原くん、両手に花でいいわね。
Oh no.
どう？生活はもう慣れた？
Instead of regurgitating a prepared response like I would have in the city, I responded with an emphatic nod. The old woman chuckled, voicing her appreciation of how energetic I was. I would imagine. As I looked back over to Rena and Mayon, they gave me a wink.
でね、そろそろお昼にしないかな。
Rena's brilliant smile signaled the approach of an event that both Mayon and I were trying to forget. We both looked at each other.
俺も男だ。努力はする。だが量が多すぎる。
よし、ケイちゃん。ここはおじさんに任せなさい。
Mayon has never seemed as reliable as she does right now. I'd expect no less from the class representative.
レナ、どうせ食べるならさ、見晴らしのいいところで食べない？
それいい。賛成。
Rena nodded her head happily in response to Mayon's proposal. Cresting the top of a stone stairway, a shrine drawn straight out of my imagination appeared before us. It had worn down a bit through the years, but the fallen leaves had been swept up, giving it a tidy feeling.
ここはね、古出神社っていうの。多分見晴らしが一番いいところかな。
ここの場所、よく覚えといてね。もうすぐここでお祭りがあるんだから。
へえ、祭りにしちゃちょっと早いシーズンだよな。
綿流しは夏祭りじゃなくてね、昔は冬の終わりを喜ぶお祭りだったらしいよ。
I was embarrassed for assuming that festivals had to be held in the summer. Oh, by the way, this game is like 8 hours. It is an 8-hour visual novel. I was kind of surprised myself, at least from what I've seen. There was a couple, I was kind of looking through some videos just to see how long this was. This is long. This is a long thing, so be prepared. You know, stick around. You might like it. I don't know.
さて、弁当を広げてっと。
It's like, I think it's like basically like watching an anime at this point, but just reading it, I guess, and hearing it. Various colored lunchboxes were placed one after the other on top of the plastic sheet. It sure did smell delicious. It was Rena's home cooking. It went without saying that it would be delicious. But is it even possible to finish all of this? Hey, Mayon, I'll take more than just a good view just to get all this down, you know.
こんにちはです。
Rika. Oh, it was Rika-chan and Satoko. Oh, the two kids. Why are they here? Mayon grinned over at me. I see. This was her secret plan, the power in numbers. You have my thanks, Mayon. Following up when all the pieces are in place is my specialty.
騒がしいから来てみれば、これは何ですの？
見りゃわかるだろ。これからランチタイムだ。ビュッフェスタイルだ。レナの手作り弁当に舌鼓だ。
そんなの見ればわかるでございますわ。どうして人様の庭で御座なんか広げてますの？
神社は公共の場所だぞ。勝手に独占するな。
圭一の言う通りですよ。
Yeah, I bet her family owns it. Watch.
みんなのお庭にしますです。
くー、やっぱりリカちゃんはいい子だな。座りな、そこ。一緒に食べよう。
After opening up a spot for Rika-chan, I promptly turned my back on Satoko.
ちょっとお待ちなさいな。私はどこに座ればいいんですの？
お前に座る場所はないし、食べる分もない。
大丈夫だよ。 さとこちゃんの分もちゃんとあるから。
ない。さとこの分も俺がいただく。
そんなことは許せませんの。リカ。
I'm gonna get beat up again.
はい、お箸です。
Both Satoko and I leapt at the boxes, having it out with each other.
いやはや、ケイちゃん乗せるのうまいわ、ほんと。才能あるのかもしれない。
はい、お皿。みーちゃんも、リカちゃんも。
Rena whipped out pairs of chopsticks and paper plates.
僕たちも頑張らないとなくなってしまうです。
そうだね。よし、参戦と行くかな。
いっぱい食べてね。ちゃんとみんなの分あるから。
Rena said as she opened up a thermos. Just then, I realized that this lunch was made under the assumption that 5 people would be eating. So, they planned this the entire time. It didn't change how much there was, but the implication behind it was different. Makes sense.
そのハンバーグは渡しませんわ。
いや、肘は反則だろう、さとこ。
襟首をつかむのも反則でございます。
It was a tough battle, blocking with her full momentum and an elbow in the open moves. Satoko appeared to have the upper hand, but the difference in our proficiency with chopsticks proved to be fatal and gave me the upper hand.
最後のミートボール。
校長さとこ、破れたり。
Satoko and I admittedly began choking at the same time, falling backwards and spasming. Rika-chan patted me on the head to clear it, even though it was actually stuck in my throat. Seeing that made Rena blush and breathe heavily in excitement. It was almost like flowers were floating all around her. My aunt advised Rena to refrain from saying anything that could get her locked up. This is how our meals usually go. I'd do anything in my power, just so things could stay like this. But it all changed on that fateful day. The intense battle calmed, and finally everyone reached a point where they could begin talking. Receiving tea from the thermos, I let out a small sigh.
日本語ってやつはさ、どうしてこう味に対する賛辞が少ないんだろうな。
食事中の団らんって考えがそもそも近代に入ってからだからじゃない？
It's interesting.
昔の人は無言で食事を済ませたそうだし。
That would be terrible. You think about that. Eating in silence, or whatever. That's like, I wonder why. I mean, I guess if it was like a religious thing, that would make sense. But I mean, when you're at the table, it's like a communion. You're there, and you can speak to each other and just talk. And I guess that was just not a thing at that time. I don't know. I know that feudal Japan was very harsh, from my understanding. So who knows?
作る人もちょっぴり寂しかったろうね。きっと昔の人は食べるのに忙しくて味を褒める暇もなかったのですわ。
That's just you.
でもね、美味しいの一言だけでも嬉しいよ。苦労の甲斐があったかなって。
She blushed a little as she said that.
美味しいです。
With absolutely perfect timing, Rika-chan struck Rena directly with praise. She looked straight at her with an expression of bewitched innocence.
Huh?
After Rena uttered an unintelligible noise, a ring of smoke rose from her head with an audible poof.
リカちゃん、お持ち帰りじゃなくて、ありがとう。本当に美味しかったですよ。
Oh no, I'm yawning. Rena flushed red with excitement, embracing Rika-chan and rubbing her cheek against her so hard you could almost hear it.
リカちゃんには褒めてもらったお礼に、じゃーん！これをサービスね。
2 apple rabbits. After sticking toothpicks into them, she thrust them towards Rika-chan. After Rika-chan accepted them, the mood suddenly shifted in a bizarre way.
なんだよ、サトコ。その挑戦的な目は。
皆さんにはレナさんのリンゴを獲得できるだけの賛辞が用意できまして。
強気じゃんよ。ボキャ品のあんたにどんな賛辞が思いつくっての？
ではご覧あそばせ。
After Satoko flashed mine and me a defiant look, she changed the tone of her voice suddenly.
レナお姉ちゃんのお弁当、サトコも美味しかったよ。
Satoko looked up at her proudly while talking cutesy. I don't know why I had a hard time reading that. Why? How was that praise? That's not even persuasion by tears. That's persuasion by cuteness, isn't it? This is Arena limited special skill. She blushed and her head spun, waving around in circles. Don't fall for it, Rena. Of course, that was asking for the impossible. Rena glopped Satoko and began rubbing her cheeks against her.
かいかい。サトコちゃんもかいよ。お持ち帰り。はう。
Swish. Stab. Push. Satoko was also presented with apple rabbits. After stuffing them into her mouth, she looked over at Maya and me again with that defiant gaze. It took only 5 seconds to take down Rena. That's unfair to think she had such a trick.
悔しければレナさんにご褒美がもらえるような賛辞をお考えあそばせ。
Damn it. That was a dirty trick. First of all, that wasn't even praise.
サトコ、それで勝てたつもりとはね。あんたらの底の浅い技とはわけが違うものを見せてあげようじゃない。
それは頼もしいぜ、ミオ。それはどんな技なんだ？
やるのはケイちゃん。
は
見せてもらおうではございませんか。戸島のあがきを。
The plan of attack she suggested was wicked, but it was the only thing we had to beat Satoko. After sipping my tea, I started talking very naturally and calmly. Perfectly.
本当に美味しいよな。これってさ、全部手作りなのかい？
実はね、これほとんど冷凍物なの。
じゃあ、レナの手作りのってどれだい？
恥ずかしいな。教えなきゃダメ？どうしても？
From the synergy of boy plus handmade lunchbox, her expression had melted into euphoria.
わかるよ。これでしょ。
Rena turned an even deeper shade of red, the words "I can't believe it" practically written on her face.
なんでわかるかな？レナの手作り。
Of course, Mon had told me beforehand. It's been perfect so far. After acting like I was shy, I waited a beat. Next would be the finisher.
レナの匂いがしたから。
Silence enveloped the area. Rena, face still completely red, froze solid. With a small yelp, Satoko also blushed. Of course, I did too.
レナの手作りのリンゴのウサギさんが食べたいな、なんて。
Ooh. Even if this was all because I was competing against Satoko, it felt like I had crossed the line by a good 9 yards, I think. Then, at that moment... Whoosh! It was a Tupperware container filled with rabbits.
食べてね、ケイチ君。いっぱいあるんだよ。
Whoa! Instantly, dozens of the apples were shoved into my mouth, knocking me over.
はい、して、ケイチ君。
Okay, then. My head was forcibly laid upon her lap, and even more apples were shoved into my mouth. While she was squealing, one apple after another was forced into my mouth. More and more apples. Look like Look like this is a-hole, essentially. Okay, how about them apples, Satoko? Looks like we win.
ケイちゃん、殉職見事なり。どうよ、さとこ。うちらの完全勝利だね。
こんな手信じられないですの。悔しくないもん。
Satoko ground her teeth, mortified. We did it. I claimed victory as my consciousness drifted slowly away from me. At that time, Rina stopped her squealing as she suddenly realized something.
リカちゃん、食べないの？塩水強すぎたかな？かな？
Looking over, Rika-chan had pulled a toothpick out of the apple rabbit, placed it in her cupped hands, and seemed to be at a loss for what to do.
うさぎさんがかわいそうです。助けてあげてほしいです。
Wait. What was with the blood? That was the sound of blood spurting from Rina's nose.
かいいよ。今夜こそ絶対お持ち帰り。
She shook sporadically, her head wobbling back and forth. Then, coming back to her senses, she took all the apples around me, gathered it up with a whip, and fixed them back up on a plate.
これでみんな寂しくないよね。これリカちゃんにあげる。ね。
Okay then. Rika-chan raised up Satoko's hand like a referee. After having the plate of rabbit shoved to her, she whispered.
僕たちが勝ちましたです。
I just don't care anymore. Thus, my sacrifice ended up being in vain. Alright, what an exciting thing that just happened. But when's the scary stuff supposed to happen? When? It was a fun-filled, crazy day. But as soon as the sun began to set, the end of the day really did come quickly.
じゃあね、レナにケイちゃん。また明日ね。
ミオ、今日はありがとな。楽しかったぜ。
また明日ね。
Satoko and Rika-chan went home as well. We parted ways with Mayan, and it ended with just Rina and myself enjoying the evening air on our way home.
ケイチくんも今日は付き合ってくれてありがとう。楽しかった？
ああ、楽しかった。まだ家に帰るのが惜しいくらいだぜ。
じゃあさ、ちょっとだけ寄り道してもいいかな？かな？
A detour. Okay.
寄り道？遠いのか？
ちょっと歩くけどすぐ済むから。
Since we had been walking around all day, I must have seemed a bit tired. Not feeling like teasing Rina, I quietly nodded. Traversing a small path and up a small hill, the land suddenly stretched out before us. There, what looked like the remains of a dilapidated construction site came into view. A large heap of garbage spread out off towards the swamp. Probably illegal dumping. I recalled it being in the newspaper.
今日は久しぶりだから何かあるかな？何かあるかな？
久しぶりって、レナのようは、ゴミの山かよ。
ゴミじゃないよ。レナにとっては宝の山だもん。
Pile of treasure. Rina had already entered that well-known, cute mode of hers. So that means there was something cute here?
わあ、新しい山だ。ワクワク、ワクワク。
She descended the unstable slope with ease. I'd expect no less from a born and bred country girl.
おい、待てよ。今行くから。あったたたた。
My city-raised self was completely pitiful.
いいよ。ケイチくんはそこにいて。すぐ済むから。
Rina kindly declined my accompaniment.
転ぶなよ。足元に気をつけろよ。
大丈夫だよ、大丈夫。全然平気。
Literally bounding among the heap of trash, Rena disappeared from sight. I didn't like being left behind, but I was still pretty tired from the whole day, so I just ended up waiting. Without the lively Rena around, the surrounding area quickly fell into silence. The cry of the Higurashi gently cooled the air. Fairly exhausted, I began to feel a little sleepy. Just then, the sudden noise of scattering pebbles alerted me to somebody's presence. Startled, I turned around. Oh, standing there was a typical-looking photographer. He spied over at me through his camera. His body was tanned and fit, but something about him seemed unreliable, and he had a bit of an aloof air about him. Well, it didn't seem like he was a bad guy in any case.
おっと、びっくりした。
Although startled when I turned around, he overplayed his reaction. That was my line.
驚いたのはこっちですよ。
ごめん。驚かすつもりはなかったんだ。君はひなみ沢の人かい？
I gathered that he wasn't from that question. Unfazed by my suspicious gaze, he introduced himself without my prompting.
僕は富武。フリーのカメラマンさ。ひなみ沢にはたまに来るんだ。
I didn't ask who you were.
写真ってのは被写体に断ってから撮るのが礼儀なんじゃないんすかね。
ごめん。メインは野鳥の撮影でね。
Okay.
断った試しがないんだよ。
That is true. So what? You're saying I'm the same as the birds?
いや、夕闇に黄昏る少年があまりにも絵になっていたんでね。本人の許可を取らずにファインダーを覗いたことを謝るよ。
Adults are pretty slick. All that annoyance I felt for being startled just flew away as he buttered me up. I had no intention of hanging around with this guy trying to get cozy with me, except it didn't seem like Rena would be back soon. But this older guy, Tomitaki-san, he didn't mind my cautious responses and continued rambling on by himself.
ケイチくん、待たせてごめんね。もう終わりにするから。
Rena popped her head out from one of the lower piles of garbage and waved her hand.
連れがいたのかい？おう、彼女はあんなところで何をしているんだい？
That's what I wanted to know.
さあね、昔起こった殺人事件の死体でも探してるんじゃないですか？
Tomitaki-san looked shaken up by that for a moment. Uh-oh, I responded like I would if I were talking with Rena and the others.
嫌な事件だったね。まだ見つかってないんだろ？
ケイチくんお待たせ。もっとかな、
馬に蹴られる前に退散するかな。
Ooh.
驚かせてすまなかったね、ケイイチ君。
Tomitaki-san, I guess that's correlated suggestly, then disappeared into the twilight. I don't know if I said that correctly. Missing my chance to retort put me off a bit.
ケイチくん怒ってる？どうしてだろう。
It wasn't Rena's fault, so I decided to just brush it off for now.
どうだった？掘り出し物は見つかったか？
聞いて。あのね、あったの。ランディ君人形。
Oh.
ランディ君人形？
I don't know what Colonel Randy is, but I assume it's probably like an American doll.
ってあれか？ファーストフードの店の前に必ず置いてあるあの等身大人形の？
Oh, I guess it's supposed to be like Colonel Sanders essentially, but in, I guess, this world, it's called Colonel Randy.
そう、ランディ君。かわいい。お持ち帰りしたい。
I couldn't tell how she decides what's cute or not, but, well, she seems to want it.
あれはゴミだろ。お持ち帰りしたきゃしてもいいんだぜ。
他の山の下敷きになってるの。簡単には掘り出せないし、あそこ明かりがないからすぐ暗くなっちゃうし。
Rena seemed quite down about finding a treasure and not being able to bring it back.
俺も手伝ってやるよ。
Okay.
今日のうまかった弁当の恩返しってことでさ。
ありがとう。
Birds heading home to roost proclaimed that nightfall would soon be upon us.
ケイチくんが手伝ってくれる。ランディくんをお持ち帰りできる。
Rena staggered along as if intoxicated in her dreamy state of mind. I tried asking her in a way that wouldn't take her out of her cheery state.
なあ、レナ。あそこで昔、なんかあったのか？
ダムの工事をやってたんだってね。詳しく知らないけど。
例えばさ、工事中になんかあったとか、事故とか。
知らない。
Her tone was disturbingly frank. Interesting. It sounded more like a denial than an answer. Even more interesting. I'm gonna say it right here. I must have appeared rather dumbstruck. Rena quickly lightened her expression.
実はね、去年までよそに住んでたの。
え、レナも転校生だったのか？俺はてっきり。
だからね、それ以前のことはよく知らないの。ごめんね。
Don't really know, don't want to talk about it. That was the kind of feeling she gave me. Thinking about it, of course it would be like that. This wasn't the type of thing girls would enjoy talking about. It was quite a disturbing incident. They still haven't found one of the arms. If it's just like Tomotaki-san said, then I had a feeling only the Higurashi would know. Okay, well, I think it's fair. I mean, even though it hasn't been an hour, I think it's fair to stop right here. I mean, we've gotten some good story beats going on, and things are starting to reach a certain way. So we've gotten some new tips, the Mabara Manor and something else. So we're going to save. Yes, so this is the end of chapter 2. Awesome. So we've made some progress here. It doesn't really feel like we've made much progress, but progress nonetheless. I'm definitely liking the new animation style, and I'm loving the that there are voiceovers. I know there isn't much interaction from me, and I'm sorry, but I am reading the parts that they don't read, so at least I am putting some effort into this. But I am enjoying this, and I'm ready for the crazy stuff to happen, whenever it does, which I think, and I feel like it's going to be here real soon. So, I can't wait to see it happen. So, with that being said, I guess I'll see you guys in the next episode. So, hope you guys have a lovely rest of your day. Drink plenty of water, and I'll see you till then. Bye-bye.